We're all swimming in digital content these days. It's just
Yeah,
everywhere.
absolutely.
And it's this double-edged sword, right? Like amazing resources are out there, but also, gosh, so much noise, just an overload.
It's overwhelming sometimes trying to sift through it all.
Exactly. Especially for something personal,
Mm.
like mental wellness. Finding genuine support online, it can feel, well, kind of impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Today, we're doing deep dive into YouTube. Specifically, how you can navigate it to find, really positive, supportive voices for mental health and inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just scrolling randomly. We're looking for the good stuff.
Right.
Our source material is this great curated list, top 10 YouTube channels for mental health and inspiration. So, our mission today, help you cut through all that noise
Mm-hmm.
and maybe discover some valuable tools for your own growth.
And that's such a needed thing because the sheer amount of content,
Yeah,
it is daunting.
it really is.
But what's fascinating here from this list is the intention behind it. It's not just casual browsing. It's focused. Like having someone point you to the right shelf in a massive library, it highlights that, for wellness, the quality of where we get our information, it really, really matters.
Absolutely spot on. And that focused approach, that's what we want to bring you today. So let's jump right in. Let's discover some of these digital guides.
Okay.
We can start with channels that kind of lay the groundwork, right? Offering foundational understanding, broad support, making complex stuff feel, well, accessible.
Good starting point.
First up is Psych2Go. What I find really cool about them is how they use these short animated videos.
Yeah, I know them.
They explain psychology concepts in really simple ways. It's like bite-sized insights, but they feel super relatable. What do you think makes that animation style so effective?
Well, it's brilliant translation, isn't it? They're not just simplifying words, they're visualizing complex ideas.
Right.
Think about trying to explain, I don't know, cognitive dissonance or something just with text.
Yeah. Tricky.
But Psych2Go shows it. They use stories, scenarios. It makes these abstract concepts feel real, like things you actually experience. And that visual element, it just sticks in your brain differently than reading a definition.
That storytelling piece is huge. And kind of building on that accessibility, our sources point to Kadi Morton.
Mm-hmm. A licensed therapist.
Yes, exactly. And she tackles some really heavy topics, trauma, depression, even therapy itself, which can feel intimidating.
Yeah, the process of therapy can seem mysterious.
Totally. But she makes it all feel approachable.
What's the impact, do you think, of having a licensed professional like her demystifying this stuff?
Oh, it's crucial. Her license gives her credibility, obviously.
Sure.
But it's her delivery. She's calm, she's authoritative, but also deeply empathetic. That's so important when you're talking about something like trauma.
Yeah.
She normalizes seeking help. She pulls back the curtain on what therapy actually is, what it isn't. That can reduce so much anxiety for someone thinking about it, Sets realistic expectations, empowers them. That makes perfect sense. Empowering is the right word. Then there's the Psych Show with Dr. Ali Matu.
Yeah, he's fun.
Right. What's clever here is how he mixes psychology, science, and pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
It makes learning about mental health actually feel kind of fun and insightful. Shows you how these concepts pop up everywhere, like in movies or current events. How does that pop culture angle work so well, do you think?
It's genius, really. It meets people where they already are.
Okay.
Pop culture is like this universal language, right? It gives you familiar examples for complicated psychological ideas. When you see like anxiety played out in a TV show you love or explained using a meme,
Yeah.
it suddenly clicks. It's less abstract, more concrete, and it's entertaining, which lowers the barrier to learning about topics that can feel heavy or, clinical sometimes. Turns learning into discovery.
Yeah, I like the turns learning into discovery.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a little. Let's talk about channels focused on more specific challenges or ones offering really practical tools.
Right. Get into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. Our sources highlight How to ADHD with Jessica McCabe. This channel is just
Wow, she's fantastic. So much energy.
incredible energy. And what struck me is how honest she is about living with ADHD. She doesn't just explain it, she lives it and shares real strategies, real empathy.
Yeah.
What's the power of having both that lived experience and practical advice together?
Oh, the authenticity is everything there. When someone like Jessica, who's actually walking the walk, shares her journey,
Mm-hmm.
it creates this instant connection, validation. Other people with ADHD feel seen, understood.
Totally.
You're not just getting advice from an expert, you're getting it with someone who genuinely gets the daily struggle. And then when she layers in the practical evidence-based strategies, that turns the empathy into actual empowerment, gives you tools that feel real because they come from that place of understanding.
That combination sounds incredibly potent. Relatability plus action.
Exactly.
Okay. Next up, the anxiety guy, Dennis Simsek. What's powerful here is his personal story. He shares his own journey with anxiety and recovery.
Yeah, that vulnerability is key.
It really is. It offers hope, but also, like, actual tools to cope. It sounds deeply personal, but what kind of practical stuff does he usually offer?
He focuses a lot on things like cognitive restructuring, changing thought patterns, mindfulness, breathing techniques, practical things you can do when anxiety flares up.
Okay.
His approach seems to be about changing your relationship with anxiety, not just fearing it, but learning to manage it proactively. And because he's been through it, he talks about how it feels to use these tools, not just the mechanics, makes them seem less clinical, more human.
Less clinical, more human. I like that.
It-
And for clear, practical skills, our sources also recommend Therapy in a Nutshell with Emma McAdam.
Right, very skill focused.
Yeah, seems like it. The source mentions she provides really clear CBT-inspired skills, things for managing anxiety, stopping overthinking, building resilience.
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Right. And it sounds like she doesn't just say think positive, but actually gives you exercises like cognitive restructuring you can try right away. How does that CBT approach translate into like immediate techniques for people watching?
Yeah, CBT is very action-oriented. It's all about spotting those unhelpful thought patterns or behaviors and then actively working to change them. So Emma might walk you through noticing when you're catastrophizing, jumping to the worst conclusion, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then she'll give you a step-by-step way to challenge that thought. Like, okay, what's the evidence? What's a more realistic perspective? It's super direct, very focused on solving the immediate problem. Great for anyone wanting concrete ways to feel more in control internally right now.
That sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah.
Very practical.
Definitely.
All right, let's broaden out again now to channels focusing more on mindset, maybe holistic living, gentle motivation, that kind of vibe.
Okay, the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah. The source highlights Infinite Waters, hosted by Ralph Smart. This was described as being all about positivity, spirituality, holistic living.
A different angle.
Totally.
Ah.
Sounds like the kind of channel that's really uplifting if you just need a reset. Offers a different lens on life's challenges.
Yeah.
How does this sort of spiritual or holistic approach differ from the more clinical ones we just discussed?
Well, the main difference is often the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Clinical approaches might zero in on reducing specific symptoms.
Right.
Holistic or spiritual channels often look broader at meaning, purpose, interconnectedness, self-actualization. Ralph Smart, for instance, might talk about meditation, gratitude, conscious living, things that nourish your spirit. It complements therapy by building this overall framework for well-being. It's about the whole person, mind, body, spirit.
Nourishing the spirit. That's a great way to put it. Then there's Matthias J. Barker. He's also a therapist.
Yes, I've seen his work. Very grounded.
Exactly. The source says his advice on relationships, burnout, emotional overwhelm feels practical and grounded. As a therapist, how does his approach help people with these complex issues in a way that feels, actionable day to day?
Vinay is really good at dissecting the why we feel burnout, why conflicts happen in relationships, the psychology behind it.
Okay.
But he does it without judgment.
Okay.
Then he offers these clear, empathetic strategies for things like better communication, setting boundaries, managing emotional reactions. He helps you understand your triggers and develop healthier responses. It's like having a calm, wise guide for your inner world. Very accessible therapist voice.
That sounds incredibly helpful, especially for tricky things like relationships and burnout.
For sure.
Now, for people looking for maybe smaller steps, sustainable changes, Rowena Sai comes up.
Gentle motivation.
Yes. Focuses on mindset, productivity, but in a gentle way. It sounds like her approach is about building small habits, making gradual improvements without that intense pressure you sometimes see. What's the appeal of gentle motivation in a world often yelling about hustle?
Oh, it's such a needed counter-narrative. especially if you struggle with perfectionism or burnout.
Yeah, I can see that.
Gentle motivation accepts that real, lasting growth often comes from consistency and self-compassion, not just forcing yourself. Rowena helps you find tiny, achievable habits that build confidence over time. It's about building a kinder relationship with yourself and your goals, which is so fundamental for mental well-being long-term. Less pressure, more progress.
Kinder relationship with yourself. That's really nice. A refreshing take.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the sources mentioned Julia Christina Counseling. This channel covers self-esteem, boundaries, emotional triggers. Again, in a way that feels relatable and useful.
Foundational stuff.
Exactly what I was thinking. It seems like understanding these things, self-worth, boundaries, triggers, is pretty crucial for almost any kind of self-improvement, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's the bedrock. If you don't have a decent sense of self-worth that comes from within, not from outside approval,
Right.
and if you can't set healthy boundaries or understand why you react emotionally sometimes, it's hard to build healthy relationships or feel good about yourself. Julia Christina gives you tools for that, practical language, strategies. These are essential life skills, really. They touch everything.
Wow. Okay, so when you step back and look at this whole list,
Yeah.
I mean, the variety is pretty striking, isn't it?
It really is.
We've got animation, licensed therapists, personal stories, practical CBT skills, holistic views. It's a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation, and that feels like the point. It's this diverse landscape.
And digging deeper there, what's really fascinating is what that means for you listening. It means you have the chance to find a voice, an approach that genuinely clicks with you. Think about how you learn best. Do you like visuals? Direct instructions? Hearing someone's story? There's likely a creator on this list, or one like them, speaking your language. This variety taps right into that desire we all have for different perspectives, for those aha moments that happen when something is explained just the right way for us. It's about finding your digital mentor, in a way.
Your digital mentor. I like that. Okay, so we found this potential goldmine of wisdom, but just knowing about these channels, that's only step one, isn't it?
Right. Discovery's great, but then what?
Exactly. The real growth comes from how we engage.
Yeah.
Let's dig into what the source material suggests about that.
Good idea. Mindful engagement.
Yeah. The source wisely says, pick one or two that really speak to you. Don't try to binge everything.
Oh, that's smart. Avoid the overwhelm.
Totally. And crucially, it advises, watch with intention, not just as background noise. Be present. Listen actively.
Pay attention.
And then, this is key, it says, write down one insight from each video and try to apply it in real life. That's where it moves from just watching to actually changing something, right?
That's exactly it. If we
Yeah.
connect this to the bigger picture, that highlights the huge difference between passively consuming content and actively engaging with it.
Okay.
It's like watching cooking shows versus actually trying the recipe.
Good analogy.
You learn a bit by watching, sure, but you only really learn to cook by getting in the kitchen and doing it. Same here. Watching videos gives you info, but it's the application, trying it in your life, that turns information into real growth.
Yeah.
It backs up that idea that small steps matter more than big leaps. Consistent, intentional action. That's what builds lasting change.
Small, consistent steps. Okay, so what does all this mean for you, the listener, as you explore? This is where we need to ground ourselves in some important disclaimers from the source.
Ah, yes, the reality checks. Crucial.
Very crucial. It stresses that YouTube is an amazing resource, but it doesn't replace therapy or professional help when you need it. That distinction is vital.
Cannot emphasize that enough. These are supplements, supports, not substitutes for clinical care.
Exactly. The source also cautions, wisely, be mindful of your own triggers.
Self-awareness.
Yeah. And also, don't fall into comparison traps. Oh, that's so easy to do online, isn't it? Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel.
The thief of joy, comparison, absolutely.
Instead, the source offers this really validating statement. Your journey is unique, and that's okay. But is there a risk, maybe, of people taking these online resources too literally? Maybe trying to copy someone else's path instead of finding their own?
So that's a really sharp question, and it raises that vital point. How do we keep healthy boundaries while we're looking for wellness online?
Right.
Because while these channels are fantastic, the danger is mistaking someone else's curated experience or advice for your exact prescription.
Yeah, I see.
Being mindful of triggers is essential. Content can stir things up unexpectedly. And comparison, like you said, it just chips away at your self-worth. The source's reminder that these are tools, not therapy replacements, is gold. It really points to self-awareness, knowing when to watch, when to learn, and when you might need personalized professional guidance. Your path is unique. Your support should match that.
Your path is unique. Your support should match. That's really well put. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the core takeaway is pretty clear.
Mm-hmm.
These 10 creators and others like them, they offer this incredibly rich mix of knowledge, comfort, inspiration, things you can actually weave into your daily
A
life.
real tapestry, yeah.
Yeah. And the goal isn't to watch everything, right?
Right.
It's to mindfully choose what genuinely supports your specific journey to well-being. Choose your guides thoughtfully. Engage intentionally.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to carry forward from this. Remember that your mental wellness, it's a journey. It's dynamic, always evolving, not some fixed end point you have to reach.
Good point.
And you're definitely not alone in seeking understanding or wanting to grow. Every small, intentional step you take, it counts. These YouTube channels are amazing tools for that journey.
Cool. Yeah.
But the most important guide is still your own mindful engagement, your commitment to your own self-care. So keep exploring, find what genuinely helps you grow, and always, always prioritize what truly serves your well-being.